Hello and welcome to these Battlegrounds. I'm Bobby B, and today we'll be looking at the G.I. Joe Classified series, Bradley Big Lob Sanders, or Big Lob. Now, if you would have told me that Hasbro would have actually completed a team, especially it being the Rawhides, I would have told you to go, kick rocks, pound sand, whatever. But Big Lob's here. He completes the Rawhides. Some need an update, but we got Big Lob, so... this is like the third version of him. I think there was like an O-ring in 2010, and then the Collectors Club had a modern era one, and then now we have the classified one. So going back all the way to the movie. But we got our carbon fiber, generic G.I. Joe Classified series box. Not a whole lot going on there. G.I. Joe Classified series. We got his attributes over here. I know there's that like old web page to look them up, but I don't know why there's not a new or current page to look up. A little action shot there with that QR code. There's that artwork right there again. Oh, he's got GI. I wonder if he has GI Joe on the jersey he's wearing. But got a nice little action shot of him jumping over. Is this from the flag or is this from the HasLab Sky Striker? And then we got the GI Joe headquarters in the background. Close up of the basketball, close up of the shoes, because that's what we should care about in G.I. Joe. Big old GIJoe.com. I checked it like last week. It still doesn't go anywhere. For those you keep track at home, made in China. And then, of course, there's your barcode when these guys start popping up. Now, before everyone's like, oh, well, where'd you get this at? It's not supposed to be out next year. Release dates are made up, especially with Hasbro. And two, what I do with my money is what I do with my money. So I buy overseas because... that's just what I do. So if that upsets you, I don't know why me spending my money the way I do upsets you, but there's some people who cry about it quite frequently. But back to Big Lob here. Jumping into our weapons and accessories, we have this new M4 looking thing, AR platform looking thing. We haven't. This is new, so I'm not against it. I'm not super crazy about it though at the same time, but it's something different, so I'm here for it. It's better than getting the same thing we keep getting. It does have a porthole for blast effects. It looks like it has like a integrated suppressor kind of thing. We got a flashlight or laser on the top. We got a flashlight or laser down here. Goofy looking sight on top. So good to go there. Magazine does come out. Little round sculpted in on the top. Nothing going on there. Moving on. We got this very little pistol, which I don't think we've seen before, but I could be mistaken because they're all, 5 years pushing into year 6 of a lot of these weapons we keep getting over and over again. We'll get one and we won't get it for a few years and it'll pop back up, but not bad looking, not a whole lot going on. Also, does have the porthole for blast effects. We have this like single shot grenade launcher. There's some texture on the grip there. Little porthole in there for the blast effects. So we do have the rail on top, so he's just popping rounds off at stuff with this thing. Interesting choice. I'm not against it. So like I said, something new to the line. So I'm here for it. We also have this giant knife, silver blade, black handle. It's got that. I feel like they all have the same like grid texture almost. Kinda. See that grid textures on almost everything. So very interesting there. I wonder if they're all the same like cut or whatever. So if we see one of these, we'll see all of them together. So we got that knife. We also get this all black grenade. And I was like, why did we get this just boring grenade? But it matches the 3 on his bandolier. So we'll see if that can clip in. Switching over to accessories, we have our first basketball in the G.I. Joe Classified series. However, it is attached to this hand, and I don't think it comes off. So, it does not come off. At least not that I can tell. And then I got one of these crazy warped fingers, so. We also have an open hand, so I guess you can kind of get them in some shooting hands, or some shooting poses. Taking a look at the figure himself, his jersey does say G.I. Joe under the bandolier. He's quite tall, so let me adjust my camera here. We got the nice fade going. Looks pretty determined. A little basketball right there. We got 14, same number as Bazooka. I wonder if that's a coincidence or not. A little bit of radio on the bandolier here. We got some grenades going down, some pouches. On the back, we got this Sanders 14, and then can this pick? Yep. The old noob tube can peg in right there. So let's grab that grenade and see if we can plug it in, if it'll fit somewhere without it looking too goofy, which I don't think is going to happen. Put it up top. Not smoothly. This bandolier's all over the place. What is this? Must be a rawhide thing with like tunnel rats bandolier, and now we got... It's like just a hair too thick to peg on. Can this go on the belt? It can go on the belt. There you go. So we can T-pose. Look at that wingspan. Is there a butterfly? Yeah, there's butterfly. There we go. We got butterfly. We got our bicep cut. We got our double jointed pinless elbows. Get you that much bend there. We can look down that much. We can look up that much, but that exposes that neck joint. Let me get my light in here. You can see the red paint in there. I mean, you can kind of see when it's down. So there's just that large gap. That grenade's going over here. That large gap right there. So that's kind of not good looking. We got our ab crunch. The number goes all the way up. And then we got our ball joint in the waist. It doesn't destroy the sculpt or anything too crazily. We got this insane belt and knife sheath attachment, which I think is kind of crazy because this figure's so tall, so you'd need another tall figure to go with it. And I don't know what this guy's getting reused for, so... Is there another tall basketball player that I'm not familiar with in the Joe universe? But there's that hook for that grenade. We got a brown pouch over here. Got this giant sheath. Go get this knife in it. There you go. But we got our drop down hips. We can split, kick forward, backwards. We got our thigh cut, double jointed pinless knees. We have our drop leg holster. Get that pistol in there. We got our ankle cut instead of the boot. It looks like it would be here, but thankfully it's not. It's down here. And then we have our ankle rock and rotation, but it is limited due to the like the high topness of the shoe. And there's your close up of your Joe kicks with the white socks. Ugh. Ugh. Let's get this basketball in his hands. There it is. I'm not against it. It's a different accessory. It's something fun, something unique. I think this whole character's unique, especially with some of these items. I don't know where we could see them again, but definitely a fun setup. As far as some height comparisons with this guy, get you sit up here, Big Lob, without looking like a psychopath. He's very loosey-goosey in the ab crunch department as well. So maybe that's just mine. We'll find out if we got another Firefly situation on our hands. We got Big Lob. We got our GIJoe Classified Series Grunt. Holy shit. He's a tall boy. Who else do I got near me? Our Operation Monster Force Phantom Core. I feel like he's almost too tall at that point. I mean, I get it. He's a basketball player. But... So, Acid Rain Novark War Banner. And our Valiverse Action Force Condor and Spec Ops gear. Our Skeletron Jungle Wolf Trooper. Marvel Legends Punisher, who's slightly taller than your average. And now the rest of the Rawhides. So we'll move him back to try to make some space here. Chuckles, who's in a desperate need of an update. Falcon, who I'd argue is also in desperate need of an update. However, this one's got the Ramen Toys head sculpt. Law and Order, definitely a contender for figure of the year for 2025. Jinx. Tunnel Rat, who's going to go in front because he's short as well. And of course, your head dog, Beachhead. Am I missing somebody? I think that's everybody. I think that's everybody. If I'm missing somebody, someone's going to be like, oh, you don't have them all, you suck. But there you go. There's your Rawhides. Was Big Lob on your classified bingo card this early? Let me know in the comments below. Till next time, load up, grab your kits. See you in the battlegrounds.